Hello, welcome to a brief video about how to make your OBS recorded streams and videos just sound a little bit nicer. You may have noticed this video currently sounds like garbage. If you've ever watched any of my streams, you will know they do not sound like this. Most of my streams will instead sound like this, which is much nicer and cleaner and clearer. And it's through some very clever bits of software and just a bit of little subtle nuance of using them. So the first thing you're going to need to do in order to achieve this sort of level of clarity, it is not get an amazing mic, by the way. I have got a Yeti mic, but you can do this with any mic. I did this before with my previous mic, which was built into a headset, which was a gaming headset, a pair of Corsair H1500s, and it worked absolutely fine with those as well. But the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to get Reaper plugin. Reaper plugin is the name of the software that we're using for this. Let me just quickly load up the page, which I should have had loaded up anyway, but I didn't. And it is just Reaper.fm replugs. There you go. If I just move myself around a little bit, so bear me a moment. Make that a little bit smaller. There you go. And you'll want the whichever link is correct for your operating system, how you're doing things. So if you're 32, stay 32. If you're 64, stay 64. Download the software, install the software, and then you will find within OBS you have a new set of options. So let's just show what those options are, shall we? And now we have the wonderful bit of where we start having OBS feeding and linking into itself. Isn't that fun? Okay, so if you look at the bit just down the bottom down here, you'll notice that the mic, if I'm not talking, doesn't transmit at all, which is fantastic. That's the ideal thing that we want. Now I've also set this one here, which is called test. Now test is basically the other mic setting. So if I disable the mic, you'll notice now there is always that constant background noise, and that's what we want to get rid of. So the way you basically the way you sort this out is you need to apply two different filters onto your your mic. So it's done through the gear, yeah, the little cog symbol, and goes filters. And you're going to add a new one, so you click on the plus. And it's a VST 2.x plugin. My phone's vibrating. Yeah, so you've got on here, you've got compressors, gains, gates, and all that other stuff on there, noise suppression. Those basic ones, they do work, but they're not as easy to use. They're also not as efficient. So on the VST2 plugin, and because the first thing we're going to be doing is suppressing all the background noise, may as well just call it suppress. And the option you want to pick from this list is this one here, the FIR standalone. So REA is for the Reaper stuff, so REA FIR standalone. And then you want to open the plugin interface, and you get this lovely view here where you can see as you're speaking, and indeed in this particular situation when you're not speaking, there is still the dancing yellow line. Now what you need to do in just a moment is going to be tell the system that line, that bass line in the background, that line, we want that line to disappear. We want that line to go away. We don't want it to be listening to any of that sound. And the way that's done is through the subtract option. So yeah, I already done that wrong. I did this quite a while ago now. But yeah, what you do is you select subtract, stay as quiet as you can, and tick the little box that is next to where it says subtract. And basically what you go do with that is then all the background noise, all your fan noise, all the noise of other things that are going on in your room that you're doing your recording in. If you have a particularly noisy fish tank, for example, if you have, if you're living in an area where there's just generally quite a bit of hubbub noise from the outside town centre or something like that. Anything where you've got background noise that is going to be an issue, this will help to get rid of that. So I'll do is I'll do that properly, and we'll see what the end result is. Or indeed, if you want to suppress your phone vibrating all the time, that could work too. So here we go. Again, we see we've got the lines here. What we're going to do is, so we're going to select subtract. You get the little tick box that will appear next to that. And you only need to be silent and holding that, let it do that build for about 10-15 seconds or so. So it gets a good idea of what your background noise is. And then when you basically you deselect it again, it'll know what's going on. So we'll just do that now. And you'll notice there what happened was that you get a lot of little yellow peaks that say the sounds it is listening to. And then you also got this like the solid unmoving line. That's basically saying this is the cutoff. This is the basic sound. This is what we're expecting. Anything that is by default comes up more than this, we don't care about. We're not going to listen to that. So it's kind of like selective hearing. Basically, you're teaching your microphone selective hearing. But now you need to go one step further on this, which is then you're going to be using a second filter. And what that second filter is going to do is make it so that not only is the mic not going to be listening to any background noise, it's only actually going to listen to specifically, or as close to as possible, specifically only listen to you. This is very handy if you've got other things that may come up that could potentially generate quite a bit more noise, or if you've got someone in the background who does speak up and give assistance and that sort of stuff with it, but you don't necessarily want them coming through on your recordings all the time, or maybe they're a little bit shy about it and you don't want to put them in a spot. So we'll finish this one off. Just click across on that. Now the next one we're going to do, so this one is going to be a gate. Now, like I say, there is a gate system built into OBS. It's not the best, to be honest. It's not bad if you have nothing else available, but we do have other things available, so we'll use the other things we have available. So we go back into VST again, and this one is now a gate. And unsurprisingly, we are going to select Reaper Gate. Now this one's a little bit simpler, but you do it in this order, where you do the suppression and then you do the gate. The reason why will become evident in just a moment. So on this system here, you have two displays. You've got the display on the left and the display on the right. The main one we're looking at here is the display on the left. That's the one that says it's detecting your voice and it knows what's going on. And the little slider, like the little volume slider things as you see on the DJ decks and all that sort of stuff, and that is saying basically anything above the line where this slider is here. So anything above this line here is going to be listening to that, and it's going to activate the mic on that. It's going to communicate on that. So it's kind of like a voice activation system built into this. But instead of listening for everything, we're now going to teach it what we do want it to listen to. So what you would do in this situation is you would stay as quiet as you could, and it will settle out at a certain level. Now, if you do have, for example, if you have other people speaking in the background or other people who are quite commonly going to be speaking in the background, maybe you have a shared room, shared office, something like that, this would be a good point to have that person talking as they normally would. So say, for example, you do your gaming and you have a friend who does their gaming and they're sitting 10, 12 feet away. Have it so that they're talking at their standard level as they would be if they were communicating with their teammates or communicating with their stream or their recorder, whatever it is. And what you're going to look for is where it levels out with whatever the standard level of background noise is. So we'll just go quiet for a minute and let it level out. So you see the mine actually levels out quite low. Now, this is the other reason why we do the suppression first, because could you imagine if you were trying to organize this whilst you had all of like your fan noise and the background wind noise and all that sort of stuff? So if I move my slider up to about here, So you see there, the slider is well above where the standard level is. But when I'm talking, the green bars are still going above that point. So it's still detecting me, it's still listening out for my voice, and it's still going to be transmitting my voice. And you can see here down at the bottom of the test as well, it's still transmitting me too. Now, this is going to be absolutely ideal for me because it means that when I'm talking, it's going to be absolutely fine. The stream is going to pick me up. The recording is going to pick me up. Whatever it is I'm doing with OBS at the time, it's going to listen to my voice and it's going to be able to transmit my voice through the system to do whatever it is that I'm doing. But then when I'm not speaking, so for example, my cat scrabbles at the window, that's generally quite a quiet noise. And so that's not going to activate the mic, or it has a lower chance of activating the mic. Now, obviously, if you have got loud things like someone knocks on your door, something falls over, your dog runs through and tips something over, things like that, things that are going to be loud are still going to activate your mic. So this is not a perfect system, but it does make it a heck of a lot easier for making it so that, as much as possible, the only thing that's going to be transmitted via your mic is going to be your voice. No background audio, no guff like that. It's just going to be the things that you want. So this is just a quick little simple thing. But now if we turn this off, because that has now been set, those are on there like that. That was my phone. So that's what I'm saying. If you have things that are loud enough to trigger it, to trigger the microphone, to activate that, they are still going to activate. But things like my phone vibrating, for example, that's not necessarily going to activate the microphone. I've got the camera and the video straight next to each other. It's kind of hard to keep an eye on which one I'm looking at. But yeah, so it's good. I just want to do this as a relatively quick and simple little thing to show a few people that I have done streaming with, 4 people that I've worked that I work with kind of in the Twitch community, that I've sort of become inadvertent tech support for. I wanted to try and help out a little bit more with that bit, and make it so that they can more easily get a cleaner audio on their streams as well, should they want that. If you are not one of those people and you see this video and you get help a bit, fantastic, spreading the love. I do stream on Twitch as well, and you can find me as DK109. Yeah, maybe I'll see you there. Hopefully you find this video useful, and yeah, catch you on the internet, catch you on the web.